I was up on a ladder painting a balcony. We only had a few hours to get the job done before sundown. I cobbled together a plan to maximize efficiency, which needed much adjustment along the way. I tried to get fired up and make pleasant conversation with my helper, but it was a big job and I was pretty stressed. After some tedious setup and planning, I finally started painting. The hours dragged on but somehow raced by. My mind began wandering, and as the clock ticked, I thought about my life and its many problems. My mood started to plummet. My hands were going numb, and the rungs of the ladder started cutting into the arches of my feet. My energy and momentum were running out fast, and I was getting more uncomfortable by the minute. Thinking about myself was making me miserable. So I paused and abruptly asked my helper, "What have you been up to lately?" Honestly, I wasn't super interested in knowing the answer at that moment, but I know this trick works. I needed to take my focus off of myself. To my pleasant surprise, my helper told me an interesting story or two, and 15 minutes went flying by. But the conversation dried up and the work dragged on for a period of gray, mundane silence. So again, I paused and abruptly asked, "What else have you been up to?" with as genuine and as curious of a tone as I could manage. We had another 15 or 20-minute conversation this time, where I both forgot about my problems and learned about my friend. I also became a slightly better friend in the process. The conversation fizzled out a third time in those last hours of tedious painting. I wasn't feeling great, so I paused and said playfully, "I'm sorry I have to ask, but what else have you been up to lately?" We had another perfectly good conversation, and one I would have missed if I hadn't learned to practice love for neighbor, if I hadn't learned that self-centeredness is the source of much misery, if I hadn't learned that it works to listen and to care and to exchange stories. People need our stories, and oftentimes all we have to do is ask. If my aim is to serve people and show interest in them, I won't take it so personally when things go wrong, and things won't go wrong nearly as often. There is always a best move to be made. This painting project could have easily been a 4-hour argument and resulted in some kind of disaster. But my friend and I are both committed to higher aim and personal development. That means doing our best to prevent problems and then admitting it when we slip up. But the solution is to pivot away from self-fixation and serve others instead. That's the lesson life has been trying to teach me, as though life were a teacher, as though life has desires. I can always pivot to serving others, especially when I need relief from my own pain. The obvious response to pain is to curse and blame and argue, but any of us can pause and promptly offer friendship instead. Any of us can develop better habits, and then better habits yet. We can offer reciprocity. Don't forget it.